Hi everyone, and welcome back to Next Diecast. Today I'll be showing you and reviewing this 1/18 scale 1965 Pontiac GTO Hearst Edition made by Maisto. This is a pretty impressive model from Maisto. You can find this model today online for around $25 to $40 depending on which site you buy it from. You can find it on Amazon, Diecast Model Wholesale, American Excellence, and eBay and whatnot. I found this model actually at Sam's Club several years ago for around like $13 or so. And they frequently sell the GTO at Sam's Club and Costco and whatnot. So this shouldn't be hard to find if you're a part of any kind of a wholesale club. This model comes in this really nice light metallic blue with the black vinyl top and the black interior. It also has come in a dark red or like a burgundy color with the black roof, and also a black with a black roof. And Maisto actually did make the convertible version of this model in a variety of colors as well. I think they made that in like a bright red, a purple, and a gold or something like that. And they're very similar overall in terms of detailing and whatnot. I think the convertibles didn't have a black interior, they had like a white interior. But overall, they're very similar in terms of like their overall look and detail and features and everything like that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the details of this model. We'll start up here with the front of the model. Maisto did a pretty good job with the headlights here. They do have pegs in them, but that's kind of like where the light bulb would be on the real headlight anyway, so that really isn't a big deal. They have a nice texture on the lenses here, as you can see. The grills look pretty good. They have the slats in them. They aren't actually hollowed out, the slats, but they do actually look like slats from a distance, which is nice to see. There is a GTO inscription right there. Looks like a separate badge, but it's not. That's kind of cool that they added that effect to it. This Pontiac badge in the center here, it actually does pop out, but it's actually molded into the metal of the car, as you can see from the side there. But it looks like a true badge, which is a really nice touch. There's a Hearst license plate down there. Now, Hearst makes transmission and wheels, as you can see here with that badge in the middle there. So I think Pontiac offered a Hearst edition on one of the years of the car, and it was basically like a transmission modification and wheels and whatnot that you can add to your muscle car. Paint quality, I would say, is absolutely flawless. This is actually a real color that was included on the Pontiac GTO in 1965. I don't know the exact name of it, but it was included on the real car. And I love it when Maisto does that, when they have an actual auto paint color on their models. It just adds to the realism, which is a really, really cool touch. You can see like the metallic hue in the light too. It looks really good. Detailing on the wheels, I would say, is excellent. Maisto did a really good job with these cool looking 5-spoke Hearst wheels. They remind me of those Hot Wheels Redline wheels that they had on their older cars. And it really gives the car like an aggressive presence from a distance. It just looks awesome. They have these nice Redline tires on them. The Redline tires look especially good with the burgundy version of the car. They look pretty cool with the blue version, I'll definitely say, but on the red version, they just look that much cooler. They have a nice Hearst badge in the center there, nice high quality of chrome. No disc brakes or calipers to be seen, which is a little bit disappointing, but you can't even really see it that well anyway because the spokes are very small. There's a GTO badge on either side of the car. They're nicely applied, not faded, and they're on, nice and centered and straight and everything like that. Decent sized door gap on either side of the car, but if you look at the car from an angle, you can't even see it. If you're looking at it from the side like this, then it's kind of obvious, but even from a distance, it's kind of hard to tell. Maisto did a good job with the pinstriping too. There's a nice silver pinstripe that flanks each side of the car, and it's fully painted. There's no fading or chipping along it. Sometimes Maisto will do pinstripes, and they'll have some defects on them, but these are actually perfect, these pinstripes. They look excellent. This vinyl roof is plastic, but you can actually hold the car up like this, and you don't feel it like, coming off or anything like that. I don't know how Maisto held this on here, but it's very sturdy. And the vinyl pattern on the roof, you can actually see it. It looks really cool. It has like a really nice texture to it. It's prone to fingerprints though, so just be careful, with cleaning it and whatnot, and touching it too. There's a GTO badge on either side of the car near the trunk lid, painted on in black. Looks really good. Side exhausts, kind of cheap looking. Wish they did a better job at that. In the rear, Maisto did a good job with the Pontiac inscription back there on the grille. And the same goes for this badge here too. It looks like a separate piece because it's like a three-dimensional, but it's actually part of the metal, which looks really cool. There's a Hearst Edition badge back here and a GTO badge on this side. They're nicely painted on. The taillights are just like these red chrome painted on pieces. I wish they did them maybe like a separate like kind of bulb or like a separate plastic piece. They look okay from a distance though, but up close you can tell that they kind of skimped on this part of the car. There is a mirror, a side mirror over here, which is actually nice and sturdy, and that won't be coming off anytime soon. With regard to opening features, we'll begin back here with the trunk. We'll open that up. Not much to see here in the trunk. There is a spare tire cover, and there actually is a nice texture in here. You can kind of hear it. It's like a rougher texture, almost like vinyl or something like that, but Maisto did a good job with that. And they did fully paint the underside of the trunk lid too, and this lip around the trunk too, which is nice to see. They don't always do that. They sometimes leave it as like an undersprayed piece, which looks bad, but on here they did a good job with that. Moving along to the engine of the model. The engine looks awesome on the real car, and Maisto, I think, did a pretty good job with it on here too. That light blue you see there, which looks kind of tacky, that's actually on the real engine too. They have a light blue piece in it, and it looks good with the blue car, like the blue engine block with the blue car. Looks a bit weird with like the red car, but on here it looks pretty good. Maisto did a good job with the engine overall. These chrome pieces are all separate pieces, as is the blue block down there. You can actually see the alternator and whatnot. There's a couple warning labels here and there. Overall, really well detailed. You can actually see all the way down to the bottom of the car if you look in certain spots. It just looks great. And if you display it like with the hood up, that really does add to like it looks like it's at a car show. Like Maisto did a really good job with like the custom look of this car and of the engine and everything like that. Really, really good. Let's close that up and let's move on to the interior. Really, really good detailing on the interior, especially for a Maisto. The door panels have a nice texture to them, and Maisto did a good job with painting on like the silver detailing as well as the door handles here and there. There's a little tiny red badge up there. I'm not sure what it says, but there is a badge there. So they did a really good job with that. The windows are very sturdy. Sometimes they'll be loose, but on here they're nice and sturdy. They're impossible to break off if you give this like a kid or anything like that. Maisto went to the trouble of actually adding textured floor mats to this car. They aren't like rubber or anything like that. They're plastic, but they feel like the real floor mats that are in the car. That's a really like good level of detailing. The seats look and feel like they're made of real leather too. They just look and feel awesome. They fold a little bit too. There's a Pontiac badge in the center. Nice texture to them as well. The dashboard detailing, I would say, is really good. You can see all the radio buttons. There's a little GTO badge on right above the glove box there. They just did a really good job with this interior. I love the copper look on the steering wheel and on the gauge cluster right there, as you can see. Maisto, I think, really knocked themselves out with this interior. It looks excellent. Shifter's a bit loose, but at least they detail it nicely with like the shifting points on it and everything like that. Excellent job with the interior. Steering wheel detailing is pretty good overall. A little bit loose, but it does fully turn the wheels, which is nice to see. There's also full suspension, if I didn't mention that previously. Pedals are kind of hard to see, but this is a manual, so they do have the three pedals on there. I think Maisto did a pretty good job with those as well. Undercarriage, not too much to say. There's that chrome exhaust system in the engine block in the front there. Overall pretty good. It would have been nice to see him do it in maybe a silver paint instead of like a chrome. It would look more realistic in that way, but it's a Maisto. They usually do that on their models. Overall, this is a really good car if you want to add like a muscle car to your collection. In terms of 1965 Pontiac GTO models, I'm not really aware of any other like particularly like models from that year, 1965, that are made of the GTO. Again, Maisto did make the convertible version of this in the past. It has popped up at Sam's Club every so often. So if you want the convertible and the hardtop version, they would look really cool in your collection, especially if you collect like muscle cars and whatnot. Or, you know, like American cars or anything like that. But yeah, overall, I would definitely recommend this model. I hope Maisto continues to make it for a long time because it really is cool in terms of its overall look and detailing and everything. So yeah, I hope that this helps you out if you want to purchase this model. Again, please remember to like and subscribe as always, and be sure to follow my Instagram page at Nick's Diecast page with no spaces. Thanks for watching, everyone.